Hello, something a little bit different, and this one won't be for everybody. A how-to video, and this suggestion come from one of the Academy drivers from 2021. So thank you for the suggestion. I think it's a great idea, and I know this will benefit many. I've been asked, what do you take to a race weekend? Now, a lot of preparation does go into everything you need to do and take to run a race car for a weekend. I'm going to take you through what I take. My garage is all ready for when Derek arrives with his van. We're off to Oldland Park later today, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you what I take to the track. First of all, you know I use these roller bins. They are on wheels. You can get them from B&Q. They're 15 or 16 quid. They've been excellent. Great idea for packing down your stuff. So let's take a look at what I've got in this box first of all. Jack, axle stands there, foot pump, a work light which can be really useful, some ratchet straps. You never know when you're going to need a strap or tie something down. 5 litre fuel filler, some blue roll, and then here I've got a siphon for putting fuel in, and then a fuel drain for taking the fuel out at the end of a session there. In this box, starting at the back here, this is actually spare vinyls. So I think it's really important that if you lose a wing or whatever, that you get to replace the sponsor vinyl, whether if that's a driver team vinyl or a series vinyl. It's only through their support that, for me, I can actually race at all, but actually it reduces the cost for us all. So it's really important, I think, to have the car looking proper at all times. New for this year, I'm going to try a pit board. Sometimes it can be very difficult, especially if you're back in the pack, to know what position you're in. So we're going to give that a try this year. Disposable gloves, and also these mechanics gloves. Good to have some of those. Oil and coolant, spare brake pads. And then here I've got a gas powered soldering iron, battery drill, first aid kit, basic fire extinguisher, and then in the box here, Rain-X, point out just some of the items, some brake fluid, a brake bleed kit, brake cleaner, some hand sanitizer there, and then some bits for helping keeping the car clean, so some waterless wash. I would never use it on my road car, but just perfect for keeping a race car looking good over a weekend. New for 2021, camping gear. The first race weekend of the year is going to be held behind closed doors, and also hotels are not open for recreational purposes. So I will be camping on site. Not quite what I had in mind when I thought of motorsport. I was thinking about those massive RVs, but there we go, racing on a budget. Tent, sleeping bag, a bedroll, some blankets and pillows in there as well, and a nice little light. Suitcase packed appropriately, and also some fold-up chairs. There's quite a lot of waiting around in between races, particularly in your academy year when you're only doing maybe 2 sessions during the day. So good to have some of those. Cool box, plug-in one to really help keep things cool. Just another way of helping reduce the cost, and also some convenience there. To have some cold drinks on hand throughout the day and the night can be really good. Tea, coffee, little gas powered stove, water butt and a kettle, spare gas. And then here I've got some foam tiles first of all there to stick underneath the tent, extra bit of insulation and padding. But these are the team mugs for 2021, Rob Oldland Racing and Just Add Lightness branded, one for each member of the team that support me. The trailer cover there, and useful for overnighting as well, or even throughout the day if there's a shower. Long nose shower cap from Soft Bits. Jerry cans, a few spare parts, wing stays, some spare wings, and then anti-roll bars. So for Academy you can carry the orange and the red bar depending on conditions. In here, couple of top drawers, assortment of different cloths and stuff for either cleaning or if we're doing some mechanic work, just some oily type rags. And then we've got rivets, electrical connectors, some grommets, riv nuts and fuses, an assortment of tapes and rip ties. Then all sorts of useful bits, electrical connectors, few more rivets there, Jubilee clips, various wires, more rip ties, an assortment of all the different bolts you might use, including the plastic ones that might be used on the wing stays, etc. In my academy year, I also carried a spare screen as well, and the other thing you won't notice in the garage, they're on the van already, is the spare set of race wheels. And then into the tools, an Allen key set, various assorted bits and pieces, pressure gauge, really useful hammer, pry bars, riv tools, file, crimper, then a regular selection of spanners, screwdrivers, pliers, small socket set with deep sockets and hex sockets as well, actually. And then my regular socket set with torque wrench. Then we've got the gazebo. This one has served me well. It must be about 6 years old, and it's kind of showing it, but it ain't lasted many that were in the paddock last year. And the secret is having it correctly weighted on the bottom of each foot, but also on the guy ropes, making sure that's tied off if it's getting windy as well. It served us well last year. Hopefully it will do another season. And then all the electrical bits that you need as well. So all of this, I've got a little checklist to make sure it's all fully charged before I go. Nothing worse than getting there and finding that whatever it is flat before you start. There's not always access to power either, depending on the situation. But my GoPro accessories, a Bluetooth speaker, and then here is a big power bank, so I can recharge my mobile phone or the GoPros if I need to, and there's no access to regular power. Laptop, particularly useful for reviewing your V-Box. A tripod there because of the sort of things I do. And then a few bits of general stuff, but without it you'd be lost. So wallet, there's a face mask in there, race license, power key, 2 sets of car keys. You will be amazed how often you put the key fob down and forget where it is. It's always going to happen just as you're getting in before the start of a session. Have a second one ready to go just in case. Glasses and mobile phone. When it comes to the race kit, my race suit, FHR, the helmet, optional darker visor, and 2 balaclavas. Nice to have a spare set of all of the underwear over a race weekend. Race boots, race gloves, wrist restraints, and then the cover for my handbrake. 2 sets of all of the race underwear, 2 pairs of socks, 2 tops and 2 leggings. So there we go, that's the preparation put in ahead of a race weekend. A lot there to take, as you can see. Now the thing is, there's always people around the paddock. It's such a friendly place, people are going to help you out. But if you can at least make sure you've got all of the basics for yourself, then that must be a good thing, right? So I hope you found that a really useful video, particularly for those that do go racing or perhaps away for track days. Please do subscribe if you've not done so already, and hit that thumbs up button. As always, please do get in touch, drop a comment, send me a message. It's always brilliant to hear from you. Thank you again for the suggestion, and I'll see you soon out on track.